After years of waiting, the Halo show is finally here. The show, based on the massively popular video game franchise, was a big bet for Paramount, who were hoping it would boost the popularity of their streaming service. So much so that the show was renewed for the next 2 seasons before it even aired. But it was met with mixed reviews. Still, it got some things right, and here's what they are. First, it nailed the feel of the games. Video game adaptations have a lot of pressure to deal with. They need to stay true to the source material so that fans are happy and it doesn't feel like a lazy cash grab, but at the same time, also change it enough to make it work with the new format. So making a game adaptation work requires a delicate balancing act between these two sides, which unfortunately a lot of movies and TV shows based on games don't quite manage. In that regard, the Halo show hits the ground running. Right from the get-go, we're treated to an intense combat scene with action-packed set pieces complete with the full gory displays that we're used to. The similarity with the games is highlighted again when the camera switches to a first-person view from inside a Spartan helmet, perfectly mirroring the field of view in the games. What's more, the sounds in the show are all taken directly from the video games, so when characters in the show do things like fire a gun or see their health bar drop, we hear the same sound effects we do in the Halo games. This meticulous attention to detail is something the show does really well, and you can tell a lot of work went into it to make everything look and sound just right. Next, the show also has decent production value. According to Paramount, each episode of Halo costs about $10 million individually to make. That number sounds huge at first, but when you actually sit down to watch, you realize it shows. The CGI for the Covenant could use some work, sure, but the actual locales we see the Spartans visit throughout the show are all top-notch. From the Covenant holy planet High Charity to the dusty outpost of Madrigal, everything looks even better than in the games. The weapons also look amazing. Classics like the Needler and the UNSC sniper rifle look great on screen. There are also some new weapons and gadgets made just for the show, so it adds to the overall Halo lore too. And then there's the costume design. Each Spartan on the show is dressed perfectly accurate to the Spartans in the video games, and the armor looks beautiful. The attention to detail is present here too, with the individual Spartans having unique scratches and dents in their armor to show how battle-worn they are by now. There were some minor gripes to be made, like how the Spartans on the show weren't incredibly huge like in the games. They were slightly scaled down, but that's because actors would find it really difficult to do their job in massive, bulky pieces of armor. So that can be forgiven because the costumes look very realistic, like actual soldiers would wear them, and the wear after countless firefights and engagements with the Covenant shows, which adds to the immersion. So the costume team deserves a lot of credit for the painstaking levels of detail they've put in. What's more, the show dives deep into the human element. Because video games are an active form of entertainment, the larger implications behind the story can get lost while the player is trying to get to the next level or just survive an onslaught of enemies. The same can be said for nuances like human emotion. TV, on the other hand, is more traditional in the way it tells a story, so that allows for some gripping moments, and Halo delivered in this department as well. The show could have taken the easy way out and just focused on Master Chief fighting epic battles against the Covenant and leave things at that, but it takes a different path. Take the first episode, for instance. We see Master Chief struggle with his superior officers about his orders, and as a result, we have to confront the story behind the Spartans. In the games, they've mostly always been cold-blooded killing machines, but the show asks to consider what the Spartans think about being forced into this role. It's a bold new direction to take, and one that really paid off for the show, as it's one of the things a lot of reviewers said they liked. It highlights the parallels between the Spartans and the Covenant, showing that the former is just as capable of committing atrocities if it means completing the mission. And so, the show raises a lot of thought-provoking ethical questions. Finally, we see a new side to the Halo story. 343 Industries said that the TV show takes place in what it calls the Silver Timeline. This means that the show is set in its own universe, parallel to the Xbox Halo universe we know and love. Basically, a lot of the characters and locations and even story points will be the same, but things can change at any point. Nothing is set in stone. This was another bold decision taken for the show, but it gives the writers a lot of freedom to tell the story they want to tell without the heavy baggage of a 20-year-old long video game series. That's why the show focuses on a more grounded human story instead of the bombastic set pieces we see in the video games. So yes, the protagonist of the show is still Master Chief, but he's not necessarily the same Master Chief we've met before. We have entirely new characters, not just minor ones, but characters that would have huge implications for the original timeline. Take Maki. She's a human, but she shares the Covenant's goal of destroying humanity. We also get to see perspectives that we don't see in the games, like the insurrectionists who broke away from the UNSC. The human element comes into play here again when you remember that Spartans were originally created to defeat the insurrectionists, so their whole conception has been about subjugating people. Finally, a big change in the Silver Timeline is that Master Chief takes off his helmet. In the games, we never get to see his face, but here, he takes it off all the time. This controversial change allows viewers to relate to the human behind the mask, instead of a helmet that they can't empathize with, so it makes the stakes feel more real. Now it's time for some other related news. First, footage of Halo Infinite's Forge mode has leaked online. Forge is the mode that lets players create custom game modes to suit their mood, and it's been one of the most anticipated features of the upcoming Halo game so far. And now that footage of it in action is leaked, the hype train is running at full speed. Rebs Gaming posted the clip on Twitter, showing off the many new features that Forge brings. According to the footage, Forge will let you customize the weapons in the game too. You can even transfer a weapon's special abilities to a different weapon. For example, you could make the gravity hammer work like an energy sword. Part of the gameplay shows the player using something like a gravity gun from the Half-Life series. Forge is part of Season 3 of Halo Infinite content, and right now it's only available to a small group of testers. Next up, microtransactions may be coming to Halo the Master Chief Collection. 343 Industries have announced that it might be adding microtransactions to the Halo Master Chief Collection soon. This would be in the form of a virtual currency called Spartan Points. Spartan Points would replace the season points that let players unlock cosmetics. But 343 has stressed that these would simply be an extra feature. Everything would still be unlockable by playing the game. Spartan Points just give players who want to skip the leveling process a way to buy their way to these cosmetics. While it's reassuring that 343 doesn't want microtransactions to affect gameplay, some fans think they should make leveling less of a grind if the true motivation is for players to unlock things faster. Finally, we have a preview of Halo Infinite's campaign co-op mode coming in July. Developer 343 Industries are finally letting players get their hands on the new co-op mode this month. The public test will be live from July 11th to July 22nd, so if you own Halo Infinite or are on Xbox Game Pass, you can sign up for the test and play the highly anticipated mode before its official release. Progress from your previous campaign runs won't transfer through, so if you do participate, you'll be starting from the very beginning. This shouldn't be an issue though, because playing the campaign with your friends will be its own experience. And the best part is that crossplay is supported, so no matter what platform your friends are on, you can team up with them in a group of up to 4 and go play through the campaign. That's a wrap for this video. What did you think about the Halo show? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.